do I do? Yeah, I have a few chapbooks remaining of what poems I'm going to read. I'm reading a lot about suicide and the like. This is a true story, this first poem, and it's called 13 Seconds. A woman from my town jumped from a bridge. There was a creek nearby, 10 feet wide, 2 feet deep, and I didn't know her, but we thought about it. We thought about her jumping to her death, and we calculated at the height she jumped from, at the speed that she was taking while she was falling. It took her 13 seconds to fall to her death. 13 seconds. She thought for 13 seconds before she died. And the thing is, she might well fall by those nearby tree branches. And we thought about that. Those silver maple trees, they might hold her back, slow her down. Well, she hit those trees, and they didn't save her. And so this is what I think of, those 13 seconds, give or take. That's what I think of. And thank you. I've got a lot of things about things related to suicide. This one is also a true story. And this one is called Filled with Such Panic. I heard a woman jump from the John Hancock building, 50-something floors. And I work on the 32nd floor of the Pacific Opera building. It's older than John Hancock, and we have regular windows there. You know, the John Hancock has these bulletproof windows. They can't just open up. And we have these windows that just slide up and down, like the ones you might possibly have even in your own home. Sometimes I'd open up the window, stick my head out, and look at the street. The wind is so strong when you're up that high. Sometimes we'd spit out the window. A few times we'd throw a paper airplane out the window, watch it soar down Wacker Drive. I never stick my head up past the shoulders. I'm not among the more adventurous ones in my office building. I can't imagine looking out the window, looking out past my shoulders, opening that window all the way. I can't imagine doing that, opening the window all the way, going out past my shoulders, and then just going all the way. I'd be filled with such panic. I did the wrong thing, I think, and then I'd struggle to find a ledge to cling to before I'd start to fall. Thank you. I don't know if anybody here knows the name of the publisher, writer C. Ron Gort. We would have correspondence back and forth. And in the early days, he would write letters back and forth to me about depression and the concept of suicide. And since I'm here talking about suicide a lot, I would do letter 414. This is number 3. And I wrote this after he wrote this paragraph to me. Now it's just sort of a daily refutation of going ahead and cutting my wrists. But I really don't want to die. The intake dude at the clinic said, well, are you in immediate trouble? Do you feel like, are you into killing yourself today? Well, I have ideas about how I might like to pull it off, and well, I do feel awfully bad, but the doctor wasn't buying it until meeting me before next Monday. So I guess I should learn to actually froth the mouth and pull a razor blade at the beginning of the meeting in order to get a meeting. So I wrote, I keep seeing reports that there are going to be more savings, more cutbacks, saving us from the horrid government intake, from the horrid government waste, and being a taxpayer who manages to sustain myself, I often find myself thinking that I have to agree. I think, oh, why can't these people get a job? I've done it, why can't they? Why do I have to support them? But then I see you, and I wish that there was something that I, or the government, could do. I sit here, read letter after letter, wondering if this is the last stream of mail I'll ever receive from you. Wondering if the doctors ever feel any remorse after she hears that the person that she turns away takes his knife to his own hands and takes his own life. If anyone feels any remorse. Does it take knowing someone to worry about them? Probably we Americans learn to close ourselves off to anyone we can to avoid pain. I feel your pain, and I don't mean that to sound like some bad presidential cliche. I wish there was something I could give. Not medication, not words, not even an embrace. A new feeling, a new lease on life, anything. I'm sorry. Thank you. Hearing a lot of things about suicide. This is my suicide rant while I'm here. Very shortly after I almost died in a car accident, I was writing a bunch of pieces about the concept of dying, and I wrote this piece, it seemed fitting, called Kill Yourself. Fitting, yay. What if, after all the bad stuff that's happened to you, you thought, I can hang myself, or I can take some pills, or I can shoot myself in the head, or I can just lay there and wait for a car to run me over? What would happen if you get to that point where you thought that it was an option, that you'd rather be dead than alive? Even if family had to deal with your remains because you remain after you leave. Even if everyone who cared about you has to mourn you. How do you get to that point to want to let your life stop? How do you get to that point? I mean, how do you think about somebody who killed themselves? Do you think, oh, they were nice, but they killed themselves? Will you ever be able to think of that person in the same way again? Would their death be taunted by their suicide? How did they get to that point? You ask yourself. How did they get to that point? I have two more. This next one, my husband hates. And I could totally understand it because I'm looking over him, and because I totally believe in gun rights, and I could totally understand why you hate this long, because you want to believe that you should be able to shoot a gun whenever you want to, whenever you have to. My husband has a gun. We have a gun in our home. He has more guns at his parents' house in Pennsylvania, blah, blah, blah. But there are bad accounts for things, whether they happen legally or illegally. This is a story that I wrote, and it is called Accounts for the Need of Gun Control. One day, a man decided to kill people. A shooting spree. So he went to a gun shop, picked up a pair of assault rifles, a number of rounds, each of 100 bullets, and he bought these things. He didn't need a permit or a license, just walked in and out. And he went to an office building and took out his revenge. on the world. My wife was there, took 5 bullets in the back. I wonder if she suffered before she died. We went on a ski trip together last Christmas. She looked so beautiful with the snow in her hair. This man didn't need a license, and I needed a license, a permit to retrieve my wife's ashes from the crematorium. He didn't just do this to her, or to the other victims. He tortured me and our baby girl. Our girl is so darling. She's blonde, like her mommy. We have to live this trauma forever. As my girl's 2nd birthday approached, I asked her what she wanted. She said she wanted to see Mommy. Guess what she's going to want for her 3rd? Thank you. I'm ready to go. This is way too many things about jumping, killing yourself, dying. I have to do one last piece here. That it's not about, if I want to kill myself, I have to read this piece, which is called Change My Perspective. God, I do these favors for other people, and they may be not even making me a ton of money, and these people I do favors for, they complain so much, and I was asked why I do it, and it's not as if the work excites me anymore, so my answer is that I do it primarily so I can expand my own collection of what I have done myself, but is that why I'm doing it? Is that my end goal? And someone replied to me, saying that they knew of a theory where there were a bunch of bricklayers, that they were laying brick for a cathedral, and someone asked a few people what they were doing, and most of the men said that they were laying brick, and one of the men said that he was building a cathedral. And when they replied to me, when they told me this, they said that it's all just a matter of perspective.